Playing in the wind, it really makes the game a lot more fun if you understand why and how to play low shots. The obvious reason that people like to hit low shots in the wind is that they want to keep the ball down out of the wind so they can keep control of it. Well, there are two kinds of wind shots. First, and the one that's probably most commonly played, is the one where a fellow moves the ball back in his stance and closes the club face. Now, what does that do? Well, number one, by moving the ball back in the stance, it means we're going to get a little bit more on the downswing. Number two, we've closed the club face that takes loft off the golf club, which means we should hit it further into the wind. And three, it's a good position to be in because we come square a little earlier in the swing. It should produce a shot that looks something like this. Now, the second method of hitting a ball low comes from taking exactly the same swing that you'd normally take with any other shot. All you do is reduce the length of the golf club and take a longer club, meaning if you have an 8-iron shot, maybe take a 6-iron and go down the shaft 4 or 5 inches and do exactly the same thing you would with any other golf shot. What does this do? Well, having less loft will keep it lower, the shorter shaft will make it go shorter, and you're not really hitting the ball quite as hard because you don't have as long a shaft, and you're going to produce less spin, which will throw the ball or keep the ball lower in the air. So here we are. Right here, normal swing. Both are very useful. The average golfer, not enough club in his hand and hits it too hard in the wind. What does it do? The ball goes out low, shoots up in the air, ends up 20 yards short of the target. Well, what he really wanted to do was use a combination of the two things I just talked about, the two lessons. One, you move the ball back in your stance, close the club face. Two, go down on the shaft. If you have a long iron shot, let's say a 1 or a 2-iron, and you move the ball back in your stance, you're not going to put a lot of spin on the ball, so you don't have to worry about shooting up in the air. And by closing the club face, you're going to put a slight draw on it, which will also help keep the ball down. As the shot gets shorter, the club lengths should vary. In other words, if I've got a 5-iron shot, I should be using a 3 or 4-iron going down the shaft. As I go to an 8-iron, I need a 6-iron and go down the shaft. As I get up to the 9 or the wedge, I take even a 7 or an 8 and go way down the shaft to take the spin off the golf ball and to be able to control it. I've got a 6-iron here. I'm going to play an 8-iron distance shot. And when you do that, you'll have a lot more fun playing in the wind because you're going to control the golf ball.